All right, guys, now we're going to look at your catering options. So for the purpose of my videos, I'm going to do GW's barbecue as one video and then Joe's Italian as another. Okay, so it says GW's barbecue. They, for 150 people, they charge $1,897.50. And for 328 people, they charge $4,078. So basically, we don't actually know what equation they use to calculate their cost. So what we're going to do is I'm going to switch screens real quick, and we're going to look at this as a table, okay? So we have a number of people compared to a price, number of people compared to a price. So we have an XY table. I'm going to put my number of people in the X column and my cost in the Y. Okay, so here we go. So when you have just two sets of values in a table, you have to find out, well, what is the rate of change? What is the slope? Okay, so remember slope, our formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2, y1, x2, x1, and I'm simply going to plug that into that equation. So what I have here, I have to solve the top and solve the bottom. Okay, so when I do that, I get 2180.50 on top for 4,000 minus the 1,800, and then 328 minus 150 gives me 178. Now that fraction, we could use that fraction in our equation, but that's pretty complex. So instead, I'll just divide that out, 2180.50 divided by 178, and it comes out to a slope or a rate of change being $12.25, which that's a much friendlier number to deal with. So now what we're going to do is we're going to plug that slope as well as one of my sets of data into the equation. So my generic formula for whenever I have a slope and just a point is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in my y1, my slope, which I just found, and my x1. Now I can choose either one of these ordered pairs. I'm going to choose the second one here simply because it has all whole numbers and I don't want to deal with my decimal. Okay, so when I plug in, here is the y, state the y, y1, I chose this one as 4078 equals m, the slope that we just found, times x minus 328, the x1 right here. Okay, so now I just need to simplify this equation so it's more usable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute the 1225 times the x and the 1225 times the 328. And that leaves me right here with 12.25x minus, when you multiply 12.25 times 328, that gives you the 4018. Okay, now I want to get y by itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 4078 to both sides of my equation. That will cancel these out right here, leaving me just y equals 12.25x drops down. And this, when you subtract it out, gives me a positive 60. So now my equation for GW's barbecue is y equals 12.25x plus 60. Okay, so now I have my equation. Now I need to take that equation and figure out, well, how much is it going to cost me if I had 200 guests or if I had 300 guests? So I plug in for x a 200 here, and I say 12.25 times 200 plus 60. And then I do the same thing over here with the 300. So I have 12.25 plus 300, or sorry, 12.25 times 300 plus 60. Once I've done that, I will have the cost of what it would cost for GWs. On the low side, if I had 200 guests, and the high side, if I had 300 guests, and you need to calculate that out.